Mela.
I mean, it's
So
very
something-
important. Yeah, if something goes wrong, then you have
something-
like a bit of a backup plan.
Exactly. Yes.
Like,
yes.
Speaking of that's true actually to professional life. That's true to personal life. That's true to D&D. That's true to podcasting.
That's true to so many things. Like sometimes you just gotta you start and then you see how things go, how things evolve, and then if it goes well, you continue on the track, or if it goes fucked, you start again.
Yeah, and as always, like D&D, you have to improvise.
Mela, you have to be very much able to improvise in life, and especially.
You also have to be aware of your surroundings.
I mean,
hello, didn't see you there.
Talking about, oh my god, he loves these shit so much.
Pulled it off.
So much. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Session 1. We are the Epigeeks.
We are
Peppe, and this is
Kurt.
That's
how they know me on this planet.
Is it? I mean, they also know you with many other names.
So many aliases.
Hello, Jade. Jade is here as well.
Hello, Jade.
We missed her.
Yes.
For a couple of episodes.
Mm.
We are very happy to have you back.
Yeah.
Thank you for your help and dedication.
Always.
Because what are we without women? Really, nothing.
Half a species.
Half of the population of the planet.
Yeah, exactly.
And not much more than that.
Absolutely.
So, today,
first and foremost,
Happy
New Year,
Happy
everyone.
New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy
True.
2026.
2026.
Hopefully, this is the year where things start looking up. They've been looking down since 2017. Since Harambe, unfortunately, left us.
R.I.P.
Rip Harambe. Was it 2015 or was it 2017? I keep forgetting. I believe 2017.
It was not 15. I think 2015 was.
Damn, it's been a long time. It's 10 years ago. 11 years.
11 years now.
Okay, cringe aside.
R.I.P. fam for Harambe.
Yes. Oh God, Jesus Christ. We're a little bit late on that.
We're a little bit.
To be fair, we started the podcast late. You can't really blame us for everything.
That is true. That is very, very true. And so, Happy New Year. This is the first episode of the year. I think we have concluded the year with a bang. I love the way we concluded the year with the Epigeeksmas.
Epigeeksmas, the 15 days of homebrew.
Yes, which, by the way, you can still find on our Patreon. You can find all the items at our Super Geek level.
At the Super Geek level, which is the €3 version. Just so you know, we could have been very evil dungeon masters and had you go post by post and click and download them.
One by one.
But we decided to be festive for once and not be very Grinch-like. Not be
just a little bit.
Much of a Krampus.
Just a little bit.
And you can just download them as a bundle now.
Yes, you can just find it in all one beautiful little package, which comes to you in January. Actually, no, at the end of December. So,
absolutely.
Talking about January.
Yes.
We are in January.
Mm-hmm.
What is the new year bringing us?
Ooh.
A lot of stuff. We have been working really, really hard. We are planning a lot of stuff for 2026.
Yeah.
One of the things that we had in plan is what we're going to do today.
Yes, indeed. In fact, I believe not for all the podcasts of the year, but like for some of them spread out, it is our idea, due to popular demand.
Yes, we had multiple people asking for, a guide on...
Yeah, kind of like a bit of a run through of how to get started playing D&D. I remember 10 years ago, however long that was ago now, kind of like asking that question myself. Like,
I remember back in my day.
Yes. Like, how do you get started in Dungeons and Dragons? And kind of, what do you buy the books first? Do you buy the dice? Do you find a game? Do you try to DM for the first time? So what we're going to do is going to try and run you through the paces. Really,
how to starting off creating your character.
Exactly.
Which is one of the very first things you're supposed to do as a player, at least.
You can't play without the character.
Yes. So first of all, you don't need the books. You don't need the dice. I mean, maybe you need the dice. The dice probably is the only thing that you actually need.
I mean, technically, you could have virtual dice, but like they're nice to roll. Like they're not that expensive. Like €10 will get you a set.
Even less, probably like €6-7.
Depends where you get them from,
yeah, depending. Yeah, like in Malta, I think around €8-9 you can find a dice set for D&D.
Absolutely.
So apart from the dice and friends, that's the only thing you really need. Even though
sometimes they
even though
can be rivals as well.
even though nowadays they do a lot of solo D&D games.
Yeah.
There is a lot of publishers that are publishing solo games. If you don't have friends, to get together, or maybe your friends live far away, or they are not into D&D, there are resources now even to play solo campaigns.
Absolutely. Now this takes me back a little bit to, remember, like in the mid 2000s, there were like these adventure books. They were like the story which wasn't like in sequential order, and you had to kind of tells you like go to page 5, go to page 12, depending on how you roll and that sort of thing. It gives me that vibe.
That's how it kind of works. It kind of works like that.
Yeah.
Even though there is some like rolling tables for events and stuff, and then you go check what's the event that you. So basically, it doesn't tell you go back to page 5 or go up to page 100. It tells you roll a 2d10 or roll a d20 and this event happened, and then you go check the event.
Yeah,
basically.
absolutely.
That's the concept behind it.
Yeah. So we're gonna start off with a little bit of character creation. And like a few weeks ago, I believe in November, we discussed. Was it November? I think it was in November, where we talked a little bit about our 2 different methodology of creating a character.
Yes, absolutely.
And
wow, that feels like a lifetime.
I know,
ago.
it's like 3 months ago already. We've been doing this since September.
We've been doing
unbelievably. It feels like
forever. It feels like
ages. So we're gonna try and take a bit of a hybrid approach this time. We're gonna start off with something of a backstory first, a little bit. Then we're gonna go and create the technical part. That's going to be mostly Peppe's department. I'm going to be taking care of the narrative side, as is typically my nature. And then what we'll do is we're going to level up the character through the levels. We maybe do some levels up a little bit faster than others, and then at certain checkpoints we're gonna redevelop the backstory to reflect that
what happened to this person, why this person has developed in a certain way.
So basically, as a viewer, you could actually see the process of creating the character, whether you are creating at level 1, level 3, level 5, whatever. So we're going to try and take you through those paces. I think we can.
Disclaimer. Contrary to my nature, we're not going to multi-class.
We're not going to multi-class. That's true.
That's one of the ground rules we decided to take. So we're going to do single class build. We are going to use D&D 5th edition 2024. For it.
Yes.
We are going to use backwards compatible stuff from D&D 2014 that has not been reprinted. And we're going to use anything that has come out so far. And in the future, when we'll do other how do you want to call this, like this kind of like building builds episodes, like practical builds?
I mean, it could be practical builds.
They're practical.
They are very.
You can play
practical.
them.
Yeah, and you should. I mean, you should definitely go out and try and play these characters that we make up. And
let's say practical builds.
Yeah. I mean,
so these practical builds will be one class.
Yeah.
2024. D&D 5th edition 2024,
which includes the PHB. It also includes any future publications that may come out from the time we air this episode, essentially.
Exactly.
But we're not going to look back, in the sense like we're not going to see 2014 versions and previous publications that, for example, like Circle of the Spores drew it, for example, which might be a little bit dated nowadays. So we'll wait for.
We're gonna try. We're gonna try for obviously even in our interest, we're gonna try and look at stuff that is coming out, like new stuff that is interesting, and stuff that is in the core books. Talking about classes and subclasses.
Absolutely. So,
and species.
Yeah.
As well.
Before we actually start, I have to fix something because it's really bugging my OCD.
Okay.
We need to move this slightly to get back. There we go. Now it's balanced.
All right.
Yeah. Because there was a little bit more space behind me, and kind of you couldn't show the fact that you're an imposter today.
That's fine. I don't know what you're talking about. I am just Peppe.
I noticed it, but I didn't want to move.
It's fine. We give Jade, our backstage technical and production manager. By the way, she wanted that title to be that long.
Yes. That's not true.
We give her
He wanted
We give her executive authority to
actually
fix us.
Now it's on camera. Jade, you can move and change all the things that you want because you know better than us. Because we don't see it.
Yeah.
You can see it and you tell us. You tell us what to do.
I could feel the fear of moving something during recording. Like I was like, no, I have to fix it.
Hey, listen. This is a recording, but we are working on these live on the spot. We're not gonna stop the recording. We're just gonna continue. We're just gonna.
You think we have time to edit? We're Zoomers.
Exactly.
Wait, what? No. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit about.
Millennials. We're millennials. What are
We're
you
not
talking
that
about?
old. So
We're millennials.
let's talk
we're
about
definitely old.
which class we're gonna talk about today.
So
And
we
species.
had
Mhm.
a few friends, which are gonna remain nameless for the time being.
Yeah.
That voted.
I mean, they only clicked the poll vote. Come on, let's not give them credit. No, I'm kidding. Hi, guys.
No. No, we had a few friends because obviously we said, okay, which class are we gonna start with? Because obviously the class is gonna be one of the main choices that you're gonna make about your
Exactly.
character, both from a narrative level, on a narrative level, and on a mechanical level.
Yeah.
So we're going to use all the classes that are in the player's handbook, so all the core classes. Plus, we may add the artificer.
Yeah, I think the artificer is fair game nowadays.
I think the artificer deserved to be in the core classes.
It deserves. I mean, it was such a good addition, and I mean, we talked about it in the last episode on Christmas Day, and it was. I'll be honest, we rushed a little bit through it, obviously, because time constraints.
I mean, it was really long.
We could have gone on for like 6 hours on it,
Yes.
and honestly, it wouldn't have been enough.
And also, if you'd like us to go on for 6 hours, just let us know.
Yeah, just sponsor us some cough drops. That's all. So essentially, we set up a poll among a couple of our friends, a couple of collaborators, if you will.
Yes.
And which class was selected? The most popular to start off with.
The winner is.
A drum would actually be very appropriate right now, but it is the Bard.
The Bard.
Indeed.
One of my favorite classes.
Interesting.
Absolutely love the Bard.
It is an interesting class. It's not a class that I have ever played with myself, I'll be honest. And it's not a class that I tend to want to play. I associate them a lot with the kind of like general tropes of a bard being a bard. Of course, there are different ways to play a bard, but like, you know, that's what usually puts
the
me
bard
off.
that we're going to play today is definitely not I flirt with everyone bard. That's non-negotiable for me. I hate the trope about bards.
I agree.
Just because everyone can flirt with everybody.
Yeah.
In D&D.
Yes.
You don't have to be a bard to flirt with everybody.
You can be a warlock.
You can be a warlock. You can be a sorcerer.
Or a paladin.
You can be a wizard and not be good at it.
Exactly.
So
to be fair, very typical of like scholastic and academics, to be quite fair.
That's what I'm saying. That's
coming
what I'm saying.
From my experience.
First of all, you don't have to be a charisma-based class to be flirtatious with people, because it's not always about a dice roll and a stat increase. That if you are gonna be good at it or not, you may be good at it as a fighter or as a barbarian. You know, like you're a rough and tumble kind of character that sparks the interest of a partner.
So we're gonna start with a bard. I have a question for you, and I'll let you decide, or maybe we can discuss it if you like. But are we going to go for a setting-specific character, or are we going to go for a generic?
I would say I wouldn't go setting-specific, just because I would love to gift this build that we do to our audience.
Very well.
So in whatever setting they're playing, either it's the Forgotten Realms, or any other published D&D setting or a homebrew setting, they still be able to use it. So I would say let's just go setting free. Oh my god, please don't die. Please do not die.
Water went down the wrong pipe. And I've been kind of holding it in for 10 minutes.
We need you alive.
Oh my god, what happened
I
there?
need you alive.
Someone's
and
crazy.
Jesus as well.
I do apologize. So going on the bard now. Damn.
So I think the first thing that we should choose, is probably the species of these bard. By the way, what is the right word in English? Is it species?
It says species.
Species.
Or species.
Species.
Yeah.
Okay. Because English is not my first language, okay?
Neither
my
both,
second or third.
Yeah, it's both singular and plural. It's the same word.
Okay.
Yeah.
So which species are we going to use for this bard? I think we can start pondering a little bit about the story of this bard.
Okay.
What kind of bard do you want to bring to life?
So given that this is the first character that we're creating, we probably do not want to go for someone who could be relatively marginalized in society.
Okay.
So that would maybe be a little bit more difficult to roleplay. So I'm thinking maybe avoid the tiefling perhaps.
Sure.
The orc, the half orc kind of maybe.
Which doesn't exist anymore. Orc.
Yeah. You know,
orc
the orc.
now.
Yeah,
Now
the
orc.
Sorry, I'm still stuck with the 10-year-old mentality.
Whoever wants to play a half species, please do.
Yeah,
Please use
absolutely.
the old half orc or the old half elf. Maybe the old half elf is a little bit overpowered.
Aren't there rules for like half species kind of?
Yeah, but they're a bit lame.
Yeah, but
It's like you can choose any appearance you want, but then you choose only the mechanics of one of the two parents. So either, let's say, half elf, you choose to be a human or an elf, and then you make the appearance whatever half elf you want it to be.
All right, so I'm thinking so definitely not orc and not tiefling.
Okay,
maybe.
Okay.
I'm kind of drawn to the main core classes. Obviously, human, dwarf, elf are always very good contenders for beginners. Very good contenders for people starting out in D&D. You could also go for maybe, halflings and gnomes.
Halflings, I see halflings and gnomes as well, but halflings even more. I think in my vision, halflings are maybe a little bit more towards like an artistic kind of things because they're a bit more roaming, free. They're
it depends
often nomads, so that is a bit more in their nature.
In my opinion, it depends on the narrative that you're going to be weaving. In my mind, halflings are typically hobbits, so like very pastoral kind of thing, staying in communities and like salt of the earth, so there, you could play both.
Should we go just easy and go with the species that can actually do it all and just be a human?
We certainly could.
Okay.
I think starting off as a human is not a bad idea. A human bard, I think that sounds great, honestly.
To be honest, human really goes well with everything.
Yeah,
mechanically and narratively, because obviously the human spirit is so is so different. There are so many paths that you can take when you're a human.
Yeah.
So our species will be human.
Good. So let me take some notes, and I will be writing the.
So we're gonna be a human bard.
Bard. So let's talk a little bit about early life. So this is typically how I begin. Starting off from early life, what kind of character do we want to have here? Do we want someone who grew up in a typical family, with someone who was tropey but orphaned, someone who maybe was, I don't know.
Let's do something different from what most people does, and let's give it a loving family, which is still alive. Because making your family alive just gives ammunition to the dungeon master to give you charm.
Okay, I'm going to add sheltered.
Sheltered. Okay.
A little bit like overprotective parents kind of thing. Who and that way the bardic way of life could be their mode of like lashing out or like rebellion kind of thing. Because if you've got the parents always sheltering this child, they typically wouldn't allow you to be like in the limelight and that sort of thing.
Okay.
You'd be in their focus, but not everyone else's.
Okay.
And that's where I'm going with this. And then the bardic expression could be kind of the character rebelling eventually.
Okay.
And kind of like letting loose and letting the spark of creativity kind of.
I like that. I like that.
So we could go for something like that. So after the early life, so I typically try to find one event from every stage in life that is defining. So early life, we have like, young childhood, we have the sheltered bit. We go into adolescence and teenagers. We could have like the spark of rebellion and
a bit of a rebellious teenager.
Exactly.
It's always fun.
Exactly. We could have the running away at the coming of age kind of thing, like feeling suffocated. But throughout these years, I think there would be the interaction with other bards or perhaps seeing other performances or that sort of thing.
I like this running away theme also because we can give it also a mechanical choice.
Okay.
As a human, you get a number of stuff. So obviously your size can be medium or small. In this case, we're going to be medium.
Yeah.
Okay. You get the opportunity to gain heroic inspiration whenever you finish a long rest as a human. So obviously you're always going to recharge your heroic inspiration every time you take a long rest. And then you have the skillful trait, which allows you to choose proficiency with one skill. And the skill proficiency that I would choose, now that you told me these, would be maybe stealth.
Okay.
So that, he has this innate ability to sneak out from home, maybe from the palace where his family lives.
Okay, we can decide the kind of origin that we do, but I like the idea of him kind of sneaking out at night when their when their parents think that they're asleep, and they kind of visit the local taverns and that sort of thing, or the local theaters, and they see performances, and that is where the bardic inspiration comes from.
Then okay, so stealth.
No pun intended, by the way. Bardic inspiration. Honestly, no pun intended for once.
I don't believe him. I don't believe him.
So, why don't you get started on creating the level 1 template for the character while I write a few lines in the meantime? You can also run us through what you're doing.
I would love to choose the background though. So, this is my personal opinion. In D&D 5th edition 2024, you have either the static choice of the background, which are the one shown in the player's handbook, which are the acolyte, the artisan, the charlatan, the criminal, blah blah blah. Or you are given the chance to create your own background, which in my opinion is the one that works best. Because obviously this background, they give you guidelines, but also they restrict you a little bit in your choices of the first level's feat that you get and of the stats that you can increase at first level. Okay. So certain backgrounds might not entirely merge with your idea of the character.
Exactly.
So I think doing we could do let's say
a custom one,
custom background, which would allow us to choose whatever feat we want and increase whatever stats we want. Talking about stats, because I think that's where we should really begin our character creation. I think we should use, just for the sake of this, standard array or point by.
Yes, I think those are obviously the most interesting ones. Obviously, you at home can choose however way you want to select you can roll for your statistics.
I love rolling for my stats because that's the beauty of D&D is rolling the dice. So I love rolling the stats, but for the sake of this, I think we could
unless you'd like to give it kind of part of the narrative. Maybe if he gets, I don't know, very low dexterity or something, it could be incorporated in the backstory. Maybe someone who's a little bit clumsy, that sort of thing. It's up to you. I'm going to leave the mechanics up to you. So whichever one you think is best, go for it and surprise me.
I'm gonna go for point by.
That's nice.
I'm gonna go for point by, and so let's see. Obviously, I'm going to put the maximum I can in charisma because we want our bard to be charismatic and functional as a character. So bards are clearly based off charisma, which is the stat that they use for their persuasion, for their deception, for their spell casting, and for most of their ability leveling up. So we're going to give the highest stat in charisma. The second highest, I would probably put in constitution.
Mechanically, that's always the most safe option, the safest option.
Because constitution, it helps you in some very important stuff like hit points.
Yeah, there's
concentration checks, especially if you're a spellcaster.
Exactly. And
concentration checks are very, very important. And I know that as a bard, you're going to have a lot of very, very good spells that you have to concentrate on.
Exactly.
So you want to have a decent concentration. I would probably put 13 there. I put a 15 in charisma and a 13 in constitution.
Not bad.
I would say next one, I would go either wisdom or dexterity. Wisdom, because obviously you want this person to be a little bit streetwise in a sense. Because obviously someone that is going to be traveling is someone that is going to be, out in the world. And also wisdom is one of the most common saving throws. So you want to have a decent enough wisdom to try and resist those saving throws. And dexterity, on the other hand, it's something that helps your armor class a little bit, helps you dodge a bunch of stuff using, your dexterity saving throws, which are the second common dexterity saving throw in D&D 5th edition. So which one? Do you want someone that is a bit more wise or someone that is a little bit more
I think
agile?
Given the fact we're going through the teenage rebellious phase, kind of may not be as wise as they think. And I think maybe dexterity should play a bit of a higher part given that they are routinely sneaking out of home.
I think that's a great idea. So I'm going to put 12, let's say a 14 in dexterity, and let's see how many points we have got. Maybe we put a 12 in wisdom, and our dump stats do we want our strength or our intelligence to be our dump stats? Because in one stat, I'm gonna leave a negative modifier. So at the moment we have 18 strength and 18 intelligence, and we can get one of the two up to 10.
I think intelligence should be a little bit higher up.
Yeah.
For the reason that if they led a sheltered life, I'm thinking maybe they were sent to a local school or
I
academy
agree.
or
So they
that
have
sort
at
of
least an
thing.
average.
They have some
intelligence.
intellect.
Yes, I agree with that. I agree with that. So for the ability score increase, at the moment we have 18 strength, 14 in dexterity, 13 in constitution, 10 in intelligence, 12 in wisdom, and 15 in charisma. For the ability score increase that every character gets at level 1, we're going to choose increase 2 scores plus 2 and plus 1. And the 2 scores that we're going to choose is for the plus 2, obviously in charisma, to have a total of 17 in charisma, and a plus 1 score in constitution. So we round it up to we round it up to a 14. So charisma is 17 and constitution is 14. So the final stat points that we're going to have is 18 strength, 14 in dexterity, 13 in constitution, 10 in intelligence, 12 in wisdom, 17 in charisma. Now, as a human, we also get something else special. We get the versatile skill, which allows us to choose an origin feat. How do we want to choose this feat? In the sense like, okay, story-wise, we said so far this character, which is going to be a bard, is someone rebellious and someone that sneaks out of his house, hidden from his parents, to go and see performers in taverns, in theaters, wherever he can sneak into. Do we want this character to be quite lucky with what he does, or we want it? Perhaps we could choose. Do we want it? Do we want this character to be someone magically gifted already before when we go to the class, choosing one of the magic initiate feats? Or perhaps we could choose the musician feat, which would give heroic inspiration to all his allies, for someone that is musically talented.
So from what you said, I would go for either lucky, because there's an element of luck at not being caught at such a young age, or magic initiate, specifically wizard, with the intention of disconnected, with the intention of them being like pushed towards becoming a wizard first. Like that was the parents' initial view for their life. My son or daughter are becoming a wizard. That's what I want my children to become. And then throughout all of this, there is that rebellion which leads him to becoming a bard. So a magic initiate feat as a wizard may not be out of place entirely. Like as I'm writing this a little bit, that makes sense to me. But if you want to go something which is a little bit more traditional for a bard, kind of like the charming kind of everything goes well for him kind of thing, despite the fuck up, so to speak, lucky I think might be also a solid choice.
To be honest, we could go with skilled as well if we want to add some more skill proficiencies to make him like particularly good at in doing certain things. Skill basically allows you to choose 3 extra proficiencies in 3 skills. In my opinion, I mean, obviously, I want to build these based on the story that you want to create for this character. So, if you think that Magic Initiate Wizard is the best one, between all the origin feat, and bear in mind, as a first level human, we can have 2 origin feats.
Yeah.
So one could be the Magic Initiate Wizard, and then the other one, perhaps the musician, once he goes out and he starts, performing somewhere, or can be the skilled one if he learned particular skill, or if we want to maintain that lucky charm kind of aspect to it.
I think Magic Initiate and lucky, or Magic Initiate and the musician.
The musician.
think.
I think the
But this
musician
is
is
the
a
thing.
very good.
This is
it's
the
a very
thing.
good feat.
I think it's a
for
very
bard.
good feat, exactly for a bard. Obviously there are considerations to be made once we get to level 3, and then we choose the subclass
Mhm.
then. But yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go Magic Initiate Wizard,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna choose obviously Magic Initiate Wizard gives you the opportunity to get 2 cantrips, one both of them from the wizard spell list, and 1 first level spell,
Mhm.
which you can cast once per day for free, and then you can cast multiple times if you have other spell slots, which
Yeah.
we are going to have. So I'm going to choose Charisma as the spell casting ability for casting, because it's the bard casting casting ability. And then as spells, obviously, I'm gonna choose the first level spell immediately, because that is a staple of first level. So bards are renowned for being very charismatic and very good at talking to people. Especially at lower level, they are not as sturdy or resistant to hits from the
Yeah.
enemies. So at level 1, having the opportunity to cast a spell for free, I would either go for shield or one of my favorite spell in the game, which is Silvery Barbs, which basically allows you to make someone that is doing an attack or casting a spell or trying to resist a spell as well. So any D20 roll, just re-roll whatever they are re-rolling if they succeed and you don't want them to succeed, or if they failed and you want them to try again, and then give advantage to one of your friends or to yourself as well. So do we want to make him a little bit more sturdy with shield, or do we want to make him a little bit more of a trickster by just fucking with people and saying, no, you don't succeed.
Yeah,
You re-roll this.
Let's go with Silvery Barbs.
I'm gonna go with Silvery Barbs
Silvery
as well.
Barbs is
That's,
nice. Yeah.
that's
I
nice.
think if I were to play it, I would probably have chosen Shield.
Okay.
But if we're going on the narrative, I think Shield would be a tactical decision, not a narrative decision. That's what I mean.
And I mean, to be honest, being these Magic Initiate Wizard, it would make sense that for someone who is learning the basic of casting magic, the first thing that they would learn would be like protecting themselves. We could have gone with as well, perhaps a spell that is really, really, really good. It's Find Familiar, because Find Familiar obviously gives you, a little pet animal that can be a fake, can be a fiend, can be anything, can be any animal, can be an owl, can be a rat, can be a cat, can be like a spider, and you can change the shape of your magical companion. And you can use it for scouting. You can use a little bit in combat as well to use the help action to give you advantage.
Flanking can also work on it, I believe.
Flanking as well. So this is the thing. In our games, we have always used flanking. Now flanking is not an official rule anymore. It's not in the player's handbook anymore. But I think we still use it. Like, at least in my game, I still use flanking. I use it in a slightly different...
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, could you explain what flanking is?
So basically, flanking, as the word itself implies, is when 2 allies, so yourself and a friend or 2 of your enemies, are flanking. So they are on opposite side of one enemy. So if, let's say, if the table is our enemy at this moment, me and Kurt would be flanking the table. So we would be on the opposite, and we would fuck him up. We would both have advantage against for our attacks, melee attacks against the table.
Yeah.
And that would grant us, higher possibility to hit and to deal damage.
So as you can assume, having the familiar flanking the enemy could also help your frontliners, if not yourself.
So, if you have a rogue in the party, the rogue will be able to do sneak attack because there is a creature that is your ally, your familiar within melee of the enemy. So it gives you a little bit more of ability to do some different stuff.
Yeah. Once I tried to playing this in past campaigns, I also used to use a modified flanking system where basically the last the last character to attack the enemy does not have advantage because they have the focus of the enemy. The other one does. That would seem to balance it out a little bit more, especially to prevent the rogue from going like sneak attack, that they can pile up very quickly.
Yes, I did something similar in the sense that based on which one of the two people flanking the enemy was focusing, the person on the back of the enemy would have the advantage.
Yeah,
so
or something like
exactly.
that.
So if the enemy was looking towards you, I would have advantage attacking it from the back.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, if it was looking at me, you would have the advantage.
Sorry, I meant it like the last character that the enemy attacked.
I got it.
Yeah, I mean that works.
I think it makes perfectly sense. But in our case, we went with silvery barbs because I just love to fuck with the DM and say, you succeeded at the saving throw against my spell and roll it again. And I will get advantage next round. So yeah, we go for silvery barbs. And then we can pick 2 cantrips from the wizard spell list, which is really, really good.
Yes.
So we can go for 2 flavor cantrips, like message, minor illusion, prestidigitation. We can do mending, we can do mage hand. But I would go with the very first one. I would take True Strike, because True Strike is gonna help us mechanically having something to do if we are in melee with someone. In melee, it means that we are next to the enemy and we are fighting with whatever weapon.
Is there also Shocking Grasp, perhaps?
There is also Shocking Grasp. Shocking Grasp, it's a spell attack. True Strike is also a spell, because this is the thing. In 2014 edition of D&D, True Strike was garbage.
Yes, you could never use it properly.
Yes, because obviously it would take an action to set it up, and then the next round you would have advantage to the attack, which is terrible because you could just attack twice instead and take your odds.
The only viable option was when you are preparing to go into combat, you recast it and then jump in. But like a surprise round or something like that.
Only if you had the advantage of knowing that you were going into battle.
Exactly, it was very situational.
Meanwhile, the new True Strike is a very, very good spell, which basically allows you to use your spellcasting ability, so in our case, Charisma, which is our highest ability, to do an attack instead of using strength or dexterity. This attack has to be made with a weapon, not specified which kind of weapon. So it could be a sword, it could be a staff, but it could be also a crossbow.
Yes.
So you could use a ranged attack using this cantrip, and you also get the choice to choose the normal damage of the attack or do radiant damage. Now, if you choose radiant damage at higher level 5, level 11, level 17, apart from the regular damage that you do with the weapon, which is the normal damage of the weapon, you also add 1d6 at 5th level, 2d6 at 11th, and 3d6 at 17 of radiant damage on top of the normal damage of the weapon. So this is a very good tactical choice. So you always have something to attack with. And we know that the Bard is not the best at having attacking spells. The Bard has a lot of buffing, a lot of debuffing, doesn't have a lot of damaging spell per se, and this is a good option because being a cantrip is for free. Basically, you can use it at will every round. For the second choice of the cantrip, I would go with something a little bit more flavorful. Something I love message because
is great.
It's flavorful.
Yes.
And it also has a useful thing that, you can talk to your friends at 120 feet of distance.
Message is great. I like the idea of having message, especially because I also want to have prestidigitation at some point. Prestidigitation is on the Bard cantrip list, so we could have that later along, obviously, with probably like Vicious Mockery, which is a staple of Bards. So we can go for those 2 first level cantrips.
Okay, so
level 1.
So let's go with message.
So message for defeat. Absolutely, perfect. I agree.
So we get True Strike, Message, and Silvery Barbs. For the languages, I'm gonna reveal one of my secrets. Do you have any languages specifically that you want this character to speak?
Not particularly. Go ham.
So one that I would suggest everyone to choose, always, if you have the opportunity of a free language to use, choose the Common Sign Language.
That's interesting.
Because, first of all, obviously it gives the opportunity to characters that are mute or deaf to communicate. But apart from that, you can use Common Sign Language with your friends
as a secret language.
As a secret language, because not everyone is going to be able to talk it. and let's say you are hiding behind, barrels, and there is, someone, exactly, and there is someone that you're hiding from, and your friends are like few feet away from you, so you can whisper to them. You can just use sign language to speak to them. I always take it in 2024 edition. I love that they made this edition to be more inclusive, but it's also
very
has
functional.
Exactly, it has a functional use as well. And then I would go, let's say, as this character was getting a formal education as a wizard, perhaps I would add either Elvish or Draconic, which in my mind are the two languages in which most magic is written.
Yes, I agree. In this case, trying to keep it a little bit simple, I would go for Elvish. I think it's more appropriate.
Elvish it is. Alrighty, so we are done with the choices of the species.
Yeah,
we are done with the ability scores. We still have to choose one feat for the background, but we can do that in a moment. I think we should go with musician for that, because musician is a very solid choice for a bard, and it's also a very solid choice for your entire party, because every time you take a rest, you can grant all of them heroic inspiration. So you as a human, you get your heroic inspiration every time you take a long rest, and you can grant it also to all your friends. So you make sure that everyone has an heroic inspiration for the day. Regarding class features for the bard, we get a bunch at level 1.
Quite a bit.
So we get 3 musical instrument proficiencies, and we get 3 skills proficiencies. So for the skills, I would say as a bard, we should be taking performance.
Yeah.
As we are going to perform.
Most definitely.
So that is going to be our first choice.
I think persuasion makes sense, because you're trying to get to talk yourself out of trouble, and deception.
As a bard, I would say those are very, very solid choices.
Yes.
Because as a bard, first of all, those are all charisma-based skills. So you're going to be automatically better at them.
Everyone else.
You're going to be very, very solid on those. And we want to be the face of the party.
Yeah.
We want to be someone that is able to talk in and out of situation.
Yeah.
And we want to be able also to, sneak into some shady places by lying or
and then suddenly,
mischieving.
or maybe then if you're caught, you're like, oh, I took a wrong turn somewhere. I was looking for the bathroom.
Yeah, pretend
kind of
to
thing.
be aloof.
You're like in the middle of a drug deal. I was looking for the bathroom. What's this?
So our 3 skill proficiencies are going to be performance, deception, and persuasion.
Yeah.
Solid choices for a bard, all charisma-based skills.
Yeah.
Incredible. Musical instrument. Do we want to go with a mix of instrument, or we want to go, for example, only, let's say, string instrument, only percussions,
like
only
3 kinds of drums.
yeah. I usually, when I choose, I usually go, okay, I want to play all string instruments. So I go guitar, violin, and viol.
I think we could go for something dainty, perhaps, given the kind of background, the childhood upbringing, and that sort of thing. Something which is maybe a little bit more refined.
The clarinet. I love it.
That's the flute.
That's the
flute. The clarinet is.
the clarinet is the long one.
Yeah.
Actually, there is the side flute.
Yeah. There's the pan flute as well.
But the pan flute
is different.
Yeah,
very
the pan
elvish.
flute is. I think it's very. I think it's very like satire or fey.
Yeah,
I would say it's a fey
exactly.
kind of instrument in general.
I think a lyre.
Lyre is a classic.
Lyre is a classic. I think a lute, because of what you would have seen in the taverns, probably like a lute would have been there.
Okay. So lyre, lute, and should we go another string?
I wouldn't choose violin.
I love the violin.
I know, but I wouldn't go violin
the
because
image of a bard that plays the violin.
It's true,
so
but
good.
it's a fundamentally.
What you wanted to say, Jade?
A shamisen, like a Japanese, shamisen.
Okay.
Shamisen, actually. Yeah, shamisen is like a.
The Sean.
No, not the Sean. Anyway,
the Sean is not the one that you play.
About.
It's like a string instrument that you play like this. I think it
have
is.
to confirm, but I.
Yes, yeah. Actually, the harp. I mean, the harp.
But we do have a lyre.
For
lyre
someone that you are.
A harp.
But yeah, but the lyre is like a.
No, a shawm is a wind instrument.
Okay.
I think. Can't remember what it was called.
We
but I know
don't know instruments.
Yeah. I'm gonna look it up.
Okay. Or we could go for something. I mean, to be honest.
The koto. That's what you're talking about. Koto.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a
Admire
13-string zither. Anyway, so no, I think so the idea is kind of like the violin plays fundamentally different than any other string instrument.
Yes,
You're not
that is
plucking
true.
the
That is
strings,
true.
so I think it would require a certain different technique. Maybe we could go for violin. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day. It could be something maybe that the parents forced on.
Listen, can I go ham and go completely different?
Like what?
Bagpipes. I love a bard playing the bagpipes. Listen, our bard somehow learned how to play the bagpipes. That's it. That's it. You know, he went classic with lyre and lute, and then he said, I'm gonna play bagpipes.
Usually
Scottish bard.
For me, the meme instrument would be like the horn kind of thing. It's like a monotonal thing, obviously. Like, what kind of music are we gonna?
Listen, I had a barbarian druid.
Yeah.
Which was a multi-class moon druid with I don't remember which barbarian it was, but it had one musical instrument that I could choose, and I chose the longhorn.
Okay.
So which is like this huge horn, because he was a Goliath.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it gave me like, you know, this kind of like war horn, like. It was,
yes, that makes sense. But in the context of this, a performance kind of thing, like, you know,
yeah, it's just fun.
You're like in an orchestra, and there's the cymbals guy at the back going. Kind of thing, you know. It's obviously part of the whole ensemble, but it's like
if you're on your own, yeah, it's kinda hard to perform in that sense.
So you know, yeah, we can go bagpipes if you want to go for a funny one, but yeah.
So yeah, bagpipes for fun.
I'm not going to include it in the backstory because honestly, I don't feel like justifying it for another hour.
Listen, just for the meme, okay? So
Absolutely.
Still at first level, you get your bardic inspiration. So you can use a bonus action to inspire someone either through action or word or however you feel like, just giving them thumbs up, and they are gonna feel inspired by you. And to whatever D20 test they're gonna be able to roll, an extra D6 that you can grant them. You have a number of uses equal to your charisma modifier, so that's how charisma affects the bard abilities. So you're gonna have a number of use per day which are based on your charisma, and you recover them on a long rest, and as you go up in levels, you're gonna have a higher die. So start with a D6, then a D8, D10, up to a D12. Also, at first level, you're going to have the main dish of your abilities, which is spellcasting. So your spellcasting means that you are a full spellcaster. You get spells from level 1 to level 9. Like any other full spellcaster, so wizard, sorcerer, druid, and cleric. And I would say for the spellcasting, obviously your spellcasting is also based on charisma. For the spellcasting, so you said you wanted this bard to have prestidigitation.
I think
that's the first cantrip. We're gonna have only 2 cantrips as a bard.
Yeah.
So first is gonna be prestidigitation.
Either that or mage hand, but I think prestidigitation is a little bit more. I think it's a little bit more wizardy. Kind of like, I feel like it is a basic spell that any wizard would learn in the beginning. So it could be narratively, it could be one of the first spells that he actually learned.
Consider these are the spells that he learns as a bard.
I know, but kind of we're taking a little bit of a mix at
obviously,
this point.
This is the thing. At that point, like everything he gets in his origin, it can be for whatever reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
it's at level 1 anyway. So yeah, I would like to see prestidigitation. It's a very flavorful kind of thing. It's not particularly useful. However, it is actually useful when it
uses.
It has its uses when it comes to, for example, cleaning yourself up.
Oh my god, I love.
Before speaking to someone, you need to have
prestidigitation. Is the best cantrip to have in real life.
In real life, absolutely.
In real life, first of all, you can clean a 5 feet square from anything. Like, imagine you have a pile of plates.
My kitchen.
Yeah, like a pile of plates like this, and you just cast prestidigitation and they are all clean. Or your floor, you need to mop your floor.
Not working.
You just cast prestidigitation and it's clean. Oh my god, that's the best. Or imagine you go to a restaurant and you order food, and the food is bland. You just cast prestidigitation and you can flavor your food.
Excuse me,
That's
waiter.
so good, man.
Excuse me, waiter. My plate is empty.
In real life, prestidigitation is the best cantrip. As a second cantrip, I would go for something a little bit more useful.
And bardic, perhaps.
And bardic. Vicious Mockery is an option because
Mm-hmm.
in 2024 is also received a little bit of an increase in
Mhm,
damage, even though
mhm.
it's very slightly. It went from 1d4 to 1d6 damage, and you can apply disadvantage to the next attack
Yeah.
of the enemy that you hit. But the only problem I see with Vicious Mockery is that is based on a saving throw from the enemy. And that tends to work a little bit less than when you do an attack roll. The Bardo in 2024 got a for the first time got an offensive spell, which is a new spell, which is Starry Wisp.
Yeah, I'm seeing it over here.
Starry Wisp is an action. It's an attack roll instead of a saving throw. It does 1d8 damage, and the damage is radiant. And on top of that, also the enemy starts shedding light in a 10-foot radius.
Yeah.
Which means that if you manage to hit someone before they turn invisible, they can't benefit from the invisible condition.
Because you know where they are.
Which is really, really good. I would say if we need... so having True Strike covers us in the sense that we can go melee with True Strike, or we can go ranged with True Strike. So we don't really need another offensive spell, but I really like Starry Wisp for the ability to, with just a cantrip, to try and fuck someone invisible up.
I think it's a good option. Also, probably going into more of the background that I'm writing right now. I think that makes sense. That makes sense. I will brief you on the background in a few minutes once we finish level 1.
Yeah. And also, if we want to if you want to differentiate our attacks, we could go for Vicious Mockery, because we already have an attacking, as in rolling an attack roll cantrip. But obviously, if you face someone that has a very, very high AC, perhaps their saving throw are not so good. So instead of targeting their AC with an attack, you can target their saving throw with Vicious Mockery. So do you want to have a more balance? Like, okay, we have one attacking one and one saving throw one, or we want to go full on attack roll?
I mean, we get more cantrips at level 4, I believe.
Yes, at level 4 we're going to have one extra cantrip.
So let's go for the Starry Wisp.
Okay, so
let's go for the Starry Wisp. And we can make it something which is more of a kind of like a performance of like a trick of the light or something.
Yes.
Kind of, we can
also because it's radiant damage, so you can make it literally any kind of light energy that goes there.
Also, as we were talking about just before we started recording, radiant is one of those damages that barely has any resistance.
Yes, there are very few monsters
as written.
There are very, very few monsters. Usually the ones that have, as we were discussing before, the few monsters that have this resistance are either celestials or creatures that come from beyond the stars, like so very few aberrations and some like the weirdest creatures in D&D
absolutely
have resistant to radiant at all. For the first level spells, I think we should go. Do we want to go as a more let's say,
how many first level spells do we have?
So we get to choose 4 at level 1.
4 at level 1, but only 2 spell slots. Okay.
Yes.
So we have quite a number over here. So
we have a decent spread. We don't have a lot of offensive spells, but we have a decent spread in general. So I have in front of me all the list of spells. Tell me, what would you like our bard to be, and I will choose the spell based on that.
I think I probably wouldn't go healer for this particular bard.
Okay.
So maybe avoid something like Healing Word, maybe. I know it's very good.
I would have, personally, I would always get, if you have the opportunity
to get it, it's
just to get one healing in general, because you never know what happens.
Yeah, mechanically is always good to have. We can keep it like, we could
as the
one of the
choice.
Let's see, as the fourth choice, perhaps. Or maybe Cure Wounds. So my Healing Word might be a little bit more thematic with a bard than Cure Wounds itself.
Yes.
But, both are options.
Even though Cure Wounds now is extremely good, because now it heals 2d8.
Yeah.
Instead of 1d8 plus your charisma. So 2d8 and Healing Word is 2d4.
Yeah.
So it's still decent, but it's not. Before, Healing Word was way better than Cure Wounds. Now they are.
So I would say that if I were to split like 2 spells from his upbringing and 2 spells from his current system, I would say probably Healing Word and...
No, but tell me, because I have the
Oh, yeah,
expanded
okay,
spell
so-
list.
so you want-
Just
okay.
tell me, like, how do you want this bard to play? Is he someone that, like, do you want to like a pure face, so with like charm person and these kind of things,
I
or do you
think-
want someone that can be a little bit of a buffer or a debuffer, for example,
I
with
think
Bane,
yeah.
with these.
I think we
kind
can
of
go with a
things.
face
Okay.
on this one. I think the way I'm imagining our bard growing up
Mhm.
is someone who is kind of charismatic, of course, and charming, but also grows up to be a little bit overconfident in his abilities as well. So that would help to boost that ego kind of
Okay.
thing, but not necessarily in a flirtatious way, as we've said. We're going to avoid the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
flirtatious route, but more like, I'm the center of attention kind of thing. Yes, you grew up in a sheltered environment without the attention of anyone else except your parents. Now you're craving the attention of everyone else kind of thing.
So for the 4 spells, I would go Charm Person,
Mm-hmm.
which allows you obviously to charm your enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Or let's say charm NPCs in general, because Charm Person is really not a combat spell per se. It's more like a conversation kind of spell that you can cast on someone if you really, really need to convince them about something or for them to do something for you. Then I would go probably Disguise Self. So you give them the opportunity to change their appearance, and not only their physical appearance, they can still look like themselves, but perhaps give them like a shining armor, like a fake shining armor, or a pretend nobleman attire, to still sneak into perhaps a party, a grand ball, or something like that, if they don't have the means to buy an actual dress.
We could also go for something functional like Identify, but I think at such a low level, it might be a little bit premature to get something
maybe
like
level
that.
one. At level 1, obviously, it's a bit harder to get, magical items. Perhaps, I don't know if, Detect Magic is always good.
That's
and
always
for
very
someone
good.
who had a former wizard
Training kind of,
perhaps Detect Magic is something that, also because it can be cast as a ritual.
Yeah.
You don't need to spend a spell slot to cast it. So should we go with Detect Magic for the third one?
I like Detect Magic.
And then I would say we should have at least one spell that is either offensive or debuffing.
Okay.
I think a very, very, very strong choice for debuffing is Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
I was going for that one as well.
And also because it still goes into that you being the face of the party, in the sense that, like, okay, I want to take this down, I'm gonna make a joke so good that this guy is just gonna fall on the ground and just be off of the combat until I keep concentration on it. Or otherwise we could go for Bane. I mean, Bane is a pretty good spell as well. You can choose 3 enemies and give them a penalty of 1d4 to their attack and saving throws. But I would say, if we are going for a full face, I think Tasha's Hideous, and also
I like Tasha's.
Tasha's Hideous Laughter now also increase, because before it was not a spell that you could upcast.
Yeah.
It was just a single target spell and that's it. So in the first 2 or 3 levels was very good, but then going forward it was not as effective. Now that it can be upcast, and for every level you upcast it, you can hit an extra target. So you can take down 4 enemies if you cast it as 4th level, which is really, really good. So I think it's a solid choice.
I agree. I like it.
All right, so we have right now our full character at level 1.
Yes.
I left the editor. I have the character sheet in front of me. We have...
Obviously, we have not gone into the equipment, but
we're not going to
the
go
equipment
through the
is very
equipment.
campaign specific
Exactly.
as well.
So
it depends on what your DM allows you as well.
That is something exactly that you will have to discuss with your dungeon master.
Yeah.
So at level 1, we would have 10 hit points with the constitution that we got, which is a decent hit points at level 1.
Not bad.
We have 12 in AC, which is given only by our dexterity, but probably we'll have either a leather armor or a studded level leather armor. So you will probably be in the range of 13-14 in the AC. You have a +5 to hit with your Star Wisp.
That is
and
very
you have
good.
+5 to hit with your True Strike.
And both of them are very good.
Both of them are very good. One does 1d8, the other one does the damage of the weapon that you choose to use. So, and again, True Strike gives you the opportunity to use it either with a dagger and do 1d4, with a long sword and do 1d8, or
Yeah.
a crossbow, like a heavy crossbow that does 1d10 damage. Obviously, you're not proficient with the heavy crossbow, but you are proficient with the light crossbow. So
Exactly.
you can do 1d8 radiant damage using your light crossbow. As a spells, you get Charm Person, Detect Magic, Disguise Self, Silvery Barbs from your origin feat, and Tasha's Hideous Laughter. You have proficiencies in Deception, Performance, Persuasion, and Stealth. And in all of these, you have +5 in Deception, +5 in Performance and Persuasion, and you have +4 in Stealth. Good. So a pretty good spread.
That's a very good character to start off with, especially.
Yeah.
So if you definitely want to start off at level 1, this is how you should do it. In our opinion, at least, you wanted a bit of a mix, both mechanical, proficient, as well as as well as narrative. Now, I did come up with a bit of a text, as I always do.
Yes.
One thing, I like to write the backstories for all the characters in the second form. You. For one thing, it tends to avoid gender and lets it be a little bit fluid there, so people can apply it to whatever.
Yeah, we have not chosen if we are a male, a female, if we identify as anything else.
Exactly. And also, when I write backstories for my players, obviously they come up with ideas, and I write the backstories for my players. I always want it to be like, you feel like there's a narrator going in, that's nice. Like Baldur's Gate 3 going on in the background, something that your character cannot hear, but your player can. Yeah. So there's a bit of a write-up, but then in future levels it's going to be a little bit shorter as well.
Okay.
So from a very young age, you sensed the shape of the cage long before you understood its purpose. Your parents kept you safe, almost impossibly so. Safety smothered every breath, every whim, every innocent curiosity, and what could a child do but endure? While other children shrieked with laughter in the sunlit streets, you watched from behind polished windows, surrounded by books stacked taller than your head and tutors who corrected your posture even as you breathed.
So this is the shelter.
The shelter, the cage.
The golden cage.
Exactly. Your future had already been chosen for you, the path of a wizard, prestigious and suffocating in equal measures. Magus Olean, your appointed mentor, was a scholar of rigid discipline, renowned and respected and utterly unyielding. Under his watchful eye, your days became a tangle of arcane studies, recitations, and the endless passing of sigils that held no wonder for you. Yet even as you memorized spells and traced runes until your fingers crammed, you quietly learned something else, the subtle art of slipping away.
So in that there is that origin feat
exactly
as a magic initiate wizard. So the ability of knowing the magic, how the magic works from the base.
Exactly.
But then you want to get out of there. So
exactly.
That stealth proficiency.
I was going for the whole thing, kind of the closer you look, the less you know what I'm doing behind your back, kind of thing. So how a latch could be eased without sound, how a hallway's shadow could swallow a silhouette whole, how to breathe deeply enough to bear the weight of a life that did not feel like your own. When adolescence finally stirred something restless inside you, rebellion bloomed like a long-suppressed spark catching flame. At first, your escapes were small, a crack in a window, a stolen moment of night air, but they grew bold and daring. You began to slip free in the twilight hours, vanishing into the pulse of taverns, markets, and lantern-lit squares. Among the sea of cloaks and flickering lamplight, you discovered anonymity, delicious, intoxicating anonymity. Like the whole getting lost in the crowd kind of thing. No eyes watching, no expectations clinging to your shoulders. You were simply another face in the crowd, and for the first time, you felt alive. It was there, hidden among strangers, that something within you shifted. You became transfixed by performance who commanded entire rooms with nothing but voice, instrument, or gesture. The way they drew every gaze, shaped every moment, held the breath of dozens at once. It felt like a kind of magic far more thrilling than anything Olean had ever placed before you. You wanted to learn, you wanted to try, you wanted more. But when you gathered the courage to ask your parents for permission, for freedom, for something beyond the rigid life they had prescribed, they refused you outright. They spoke of duty, of legacy, of the danger of distraction. The sternness carved the final crack through the shell that you had lived in since childbirth. Anger fermented into resolve. You pegged your belongings in silence, and under the cloak of night you ran. You shed your name first, or perhaps it simply slipped off, heavy and cumbersome, as your feet carried you further from home. You shaped a new story instead, one easier to believe. An orphan, traveling alone, desperate for shelter, fate or fortune, placed you in the path of a caravan of performers, a wandering circus whose people saw not a runaway noble, but a young soul with yearning in their eyes. They welcomed you without hesitation. Life on the road hardened you, but it also healed you. Days blurred into festivals and firelight. Nights thrummed with laughter, music, and the thunder of applause beneath canvas stands glowing gold from within. You learned to play instruments you had never been allowed to touch before.
The bagpipe.
The bagpipe.
Yeah, so this is the beginning of his story as a bard.
Exactly.
As he goes out in the world and escape finally this golden cage that was put upon him by his family.
You learned to move with rhythm rather than restraint. You learned to captivate. And somewhere within that distant towns and the ever-changing skies, you grew into yourself. No longer the caged prodigy your parents tried to shape, but an accomplished entertainer whose voice, presence, and craft belonged wholly to you. A child of expectation had vanished, and in the place, a performer was born.
Very nice, very nice. Well done.
Glad you like it. So this is what I live for.
So
man.
basically,
Can I do this full time, please?
Yes. Can you help us do this?
Can you please do this
always?
full time?
We would like to do this all the time. We need your support.
So,
thank you.
So far we have covered up until level 1, like up until the adventure is going to start.
Yes.
So from here, obviously, the backstory is not going to change much. We're just going to add like what could happen as you level up, kind of thing, to give you a bit of an idea what kind of backstory you could want if you start a character at level 3 or at level 5.
Yes,
something like that. So obviously, it's not going to be as detailed as this.
Mela. By the way, I'm your Maltese is rubbing on me. Did you realize that I keep saying Mela all the time?
You've been here for how long now?
I've been here. No, but this is the thing. Usually, I don't. Apart from you guys, I don't have a lot of Maltese friends, and like I made a lot of new Maltese friends recently, especially like in the LARP and stuff. But most of my friends, they are foreigners as me.
Mm.
So I don't hear a lot of Maltese in general. But since I've been hanging out with you more and more and more, your Maltese is rubbing on me.
That's fine. One of us. So
one of us. So we're gonna level up. We're gonna level up quickly. We're gonna go to level 2, and we are going to get our expertise, which is gonna allow us to choose one of our proficiencies and double the proficiency bonus. I would say because we are deceiving little fucks, we go for deception and persuasion because we love to
Why not performance?
You would go performance?
Why not?
I mean, it really depends if we want to go for someone who is actually a performer, or if we want to do a bard that is more like... I went for deception and persuasion more for the face of the party than for... So mechanically... is a better choice to choose deception and persuasion. Yes. But narratively, it makes a lot... If you are an actual performer, so if it's part of your story, like in this case, to go around and perform into taverns, perform into theaters, perform into venues, performance makes a lot of sense.
And think about that. I'm actually seeing something in front of me. You could be the face of the party. You know where I'm going with this.
Yes.
But we'll get to that next level.
So, would you like to go for performance or for persuasion?
Let's balance it out. Let's go persuasion rather than performance. Performance we're already very good at.
We're pretty good.
Is it the same for both of them? Let's go persuasion. So
deception and persuasion is our choices for expertise, which means that our proficiency bonus is going to be doubled for it. Also, at level 2, we get a boost in all the other skills in which we are not proficient.
Yeah.
With Jack of all trades, we get half proficiency bonus to all the skills.
Yes.
So we are good at doing pretty much any skill check. And we are excellent at doing the ones that we are proficient because we get an expertise.
Literally a Jack of all trades. Can we please not name the character Jack now? Surname trades.
Please not. Please avoid that.
Of the house all trades.
Can someone stop Kurt? Thank you. So at level 3,
your chance.
let's go quick to level 3, and then we choose the spells
this
as
is
well.
The fun stuff, yeah.
So at level 3, we get our main character choice.
Yeah.
Or I would say the first and most important, not main, but first and most important character choice. which is our subclass.
So to go, we already went over them in past videos, but there's the College of Dance, the College of Glamour, College of Lore, and College of Valor.
Then in the expanded rules, there is the new College of the Moon.
Yes.
And then we have in the expanded rules, we have College of Creation, Eloquence, College of Spirits, Swords, and Whispers. Now, we have said already that we're going to try and go with the 2024 reprinted choices, pardon me. We're a little bit sick. It's winter. It's cold. Even in Malta, it's cold.
Yes, we had too much fun over the holidays.
Yes, and too much food over the holidays. So, from what you've said so far, I would go one of two choices. So, if he has... so he had these first impact with academic studies as a Magic Initiate wizard, which he has rejected because obviously it was imposed over him. We could go for College of Glamour, because the College of Glamour is, I would say, the most bard of all bards.
Yes.
In my opinion. If instead we want to say, okay, maybe his rejection of this scholarly knowledge was given just by the fact that it was imposed over him. But he actually, if he goes out and search for it on its own,
it might be interesting.
It might be interesting for him.
College of Lore.
The College of Lore. So I think those are two very, very, very solid choices. First of all, I would not go College of Valor, because this is not, it's not a fighter. It's not someone who embrace shield and sword and goes adventuring in that way.
Disclaimer, narratively, you could play a College of Valor badly, in a way, kind of like that is what he wants to be, but eventually you become not good at it. But if you try to play that on a long campaign, it becomes tedious and annoying for you and for your players as well.
To be honest, as a College of Valor, like knowing that we had to build a College of Valor, we would have had a higher dexterity score.
My point is, choosing a subclass just for the kicks of it, because it's an entertaining something you want to try out, is fine, especially for one shots or short stints in a campaign. But if you want to play a long-term campaign, perhaps choose something which you know that you can sustain it long-term.
Exactly. Because we went full-on charisma and we didn't go with dexterity as well. Both College of Dance, which is like a martial, like he's a dancer, but he's a martial bard. And College of Valor, which is also a martial bard, but with armors and swords. Those are might not be the best choices for this bard, but if that's the vibe of the bard that you want to have,
go ahead.
Go ahead and have fun. In our case, we're gonna go Glamour or Lore.
I think, given the way we've written our characters so far, I think we're gonna go for College of Glamour.
I think that's a very good choice.
Throughout his backstory, we can introduce an element of like elvish charm. So in the sense of like, perhaps they traveled to some elven lands and saw some elven performance and was enchanted by them and kind of like was inspired by their way of performing. And I kind of like, in my mind, College of Glamour, College of Glam, I'm thinking like Twisted Sister kind of thing, long hair, kind of,
and also
like heavy makeup kind of thing.
The heart for the College of Glamour on the player's handbook is absolutely incredible. Is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, maybe you see it a little
Please
bit better.
Go and look at the art of the College of Glamour, because it's the fucking coolest.
It's literally like an 80s glam rock with a large
good.
mandolin kind of thing. It's honestly very good.
College of Glamour grants us two abilities at level 3. The first one is Beguiling Magic, which says that we always have prepared Charm Person and Mirror Image as spells. Mirror Image is an incredibly useful spell. It's a spell that allows you to create copies of yourself so that your enemy is confused of which one is the real one. Of the 4 of you, it creates 3 images of yourself. And in addition, when you cast... that's Mirror Image. Charm Person, we had already chosen it as a spell, so now we're going to swap it out for another spell instead, because Beguiling Magic gives us Charm Person as an always prepared spell.
And to be fair, Charm Person is still a very useful spell at level 1 and level 2. When you would expect roleplay to be quite heavy, like heavy roleplay rather than heavy combat, level 1 and level 2, you can have decent combat encounters, but you cannot have like these very large combat encounters. You have a very limited health pool of like 10 hit points.
Yes.
You get 2 unlucky rolls and you're down,
And you're
essentially.
done, yes. It's a bit harder to have, a higher level combat scenario.
Or one crit kind of thing.
Exactly,
One crit will probably take
exactly.
you out, if not get you down to 1 or 2 HP.
So yeah, the utility of Charm Person is retained at higher level, even though it becomes a little bit harder to manage to charm creatures. And later on, you will be able, pardon me, you will be able to charm monsters as well. But for the time being, Charm Person is still good enough. And also, it's an always prepared spell. We're not going to say no to an always prepared spell.
Absolutely.
Also, in addition to that, Beguiling Magic allows you, when you cast an enchantment or illusion spell, you can cause a creature that you can see within 60 feet to make a wisdom saving throw versus your spell save DC. And on a fail save, the target is either charmed or frightened of you for 1 minute. The target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each turn, but this happens as an extra anytime you cast enchantment or illusion spells. Now, enchantment is one of my favorite school of magic because it's the school of magic of Charm Person. So Charm Person, Command, Suggestion, these are all the spells that affect your mind and change your perception of the people around you, of the creatures around you, are all enchantment spell, which I think for a bard are extremely, extremely good and extremely flavorful. Illusion as well, it would changes an enemy's perspective on the environment, so it can be either items that you create illusory or the entirety of their surrounding, in the case of like Phantasmal Killer or higher level spells that can change the entirety of the environment around yourself. So Beguiling Magic, top use for a bard at 3rd level. And then still at 3rd level as College of Glamour Bard, you get Mantle of Inspiration, which says you can weave Fey magic into a song or dance and fill others with vigor. You spend a bonus action and you can spend a Bardic Inspiration. You roll the Bardic Inspiration die, and a number of creatures within 60 feet of you.
Which is a decent range.
It's a pretty good range. Especially if you are in a confined place, like if you're in a room or in a dungeon.
It's practically all a party.
Is the entirety of the room. Yeah, all the allies that you can see around yourself. So 60 feet is pretty large. So you use your bonus action and you spend 1 Bardic Inspiration and a number of creatures equal to your Charisma modifier. So again, you want to have your Charisma as high as possible, always. Gain a number of temporary hit points equal twice the number that you roll or your Inspiration die, which is pretty good. At the moment, the maximum you can roll is 6, so they can get up to 12 temporary hit points, which at 3rd level is a very good amount of temporary hit points whenever you use this ability. And each one can use a reaction immediately to either move to his speed without provoking attack of opportunity. So all your friends get temporary hit points and get movement speed equal to double their speed. No, sorry, up to their speed as a reaction. So it's very good for mobility. It's very good for survivability. Another very, very, very good bardic ability. From the spell list, now we can choose level 2 spells.
Indeed. So let's see how many we can choose.
Well, at the moment we have 4 already chosen, from which we have to remove Charm Person.
One.
So we have 3 available to pick at level 2. Level 2 spells.
Level 2 spells.
Yes.
So level 2 spells, it's still an extensive list. I think over here we should go for something which reflects the whole glamour persona, like the whole elven inspiration perhaps, and maybe choose, let's say, 1 for flavor or utility and 2 for maybe offense or like healing or buffing or that sort of thing. If there's healing, there isn't anything. But I think we could go for maybe.
I would go.
Can I give you? Yeah, please.
I would suggest. To choose suggestion.
First of all, suggested for sure.
It's suggested. It's highly suggested, especially for this bard subclass, because obviously suggestion is an enchantment spell.
Yes.
So whenever you're gonna cast it on someone, you're gonna add the glamour bard ability to it. And also suggestion is an incredible spell when you want to take an enemy, or I always have this scenario in my mind. The bard is outside of a castle and they need to enter.
Oh yeah.
And there is a guard in front of the door. And, you have tried your persuasion on them and it didn't really work. So you just, go to them and you say, look, I would suggest why don't you just take the day off? Go home, take off your boots, kick it back, and just relax. Make a suggestion on them. And for the next 8 hours, if they fail the saving throw, obviously,
of course.
they have to just obey your suggestion.
Yeah.
So they would. I mean, it's important that it sounds reasonable, but how much more reasonable can be just to say,
just go rest.
Just have the day off. You've been working so hard.
Yes.
I think you should go home and just rest.
Imagine it's the start of his shift.
And you can just open the door and enter.
Yeah, the way I imagine it being is like, walking from far away and getting closer and closer, like, Lancelot in Monty Python.
Yes.
But instead of running, like, strumming on the lute, and you just keep walking through the gate and they just let you go.
Exactly.
I imagine, what image came to mind. Jade will probably remember it, and he probably will as well. The animated Disney Robin Hood.
Yes.
The rooster.
Yes, yeah.
The
I mean, that's a
rooster with
bard.
the mandel. Yeah, that's a bard.
100% a bard.
That's a quintessential bard. If I ever were to play like an animal, like D&D team game, I'm going to be that's fucking
the
rooster.
bard. That's the bard.
Like, just the strumming and just walking through the gate.
I don't know the song in English, otherwise I would have sung it in English, but I love the song in Italian. It's so good. The Robin Hood and Little John song.
That's the one I remember.
So suggestion is our first choice.
That took me back.
Yeah, we are old.
3 decades.
We are old. So another very solid choice.
Yeah.
Very, very solid choice. Hold person. In combat,
Hold person is very useful.
If it's very, very useful. It's something that completely locks down an enemy, and not only locks them out by not having them act during combat until you maintain concentration, but also because they are paralyzed, they have the paralyzed condition. All the attacks from your friends against that enemy
are advantage.
They're automatically crits.
Automatically
they
crits,
have advantage as well.
Yeah.
But they're automatically crits. So it's an incredibly useful spell, quite strong as well. And it's also enchantment.
Yes. So hold person is also very, very good. I would like to see perhaps there, if it's possible, and again it's enchantment as well, calm emotions. I'm thinking of out on a stage, or like, maybe there's a riot going on and your bard is the bard that kind of like let us not lose our heads kind
absolutely
of thing.
It does that. But also now they've in 2020, because that was the basic use that there was in 2014. And yes, it was flavorful, but it was not very mechanically sound.
No, it was not.
Now they've added on top of that, on top of doing that, is that the creature that is affected by calm emotion is now gains immunity to the charm and frightened condition until the spell ends. And if the creature is already under that effect, gains advantage to any further saving throw has to roll for against charmed or frightened. And then it has the normal effect of like, okay, if the creature is hostile towards someone, they become indifferent instead. So they added a layer of mechanics
of usefulness
on the flavor of
so
just
before
being
the way it was generally used before, it was always against like a hostile enemy or someone who was becoming hostile. Like this, you can also use it on an ally to help them kind of resist the frightened or charm.
This is the thing. Once you are frightened, I mean, your emotions are going all over the place. So you're calming your friend's emotion by suppressing either the charm or the frightened condition. I think it's a very good choice. I would go for calm emotion. It's defensively is a very, very strong spell, because the charmed condition and the frightened condition is quite it's quite harsh at level 3. Now, we could go. We have one more choice of a spell. We could go either for invisibility, perhaps. I mean, it's very useful if you want to infiltrate something. And again, it's an illusion spell, so it will still trigger your bardic ability. Or you could go for something different. Perhaps if you want an offensive spell, that is your first area of effect, which is Shatter. It's a pretty good spell.
That's useful
damage-wise.
We could also go for something which is, I know it's very situational, but perhaps silence. No, it's very situational.
Yes,
I understand, the way I'm coming from this is the ability of a performer to rally the crowd is just as powerful as the ability to silence it and rapture it. So there's that narrative element to it. I think, however, you may be right in the sense that we could go for something which is a little bit more offensive. You suggested Thunderwave?
Shatter.
Shatter, sorry.
Yeah, because Shatter, it has a 20-foot radius, so it's not a huge radius.
Contained, yeah.
But it's still, it's the pretty sizable one at level 3.
Yeah.
And also, a Shatter does a decent amount of damage. To be honest, Silence, it's also a decent option in the sense that Silence can be used offensively if you're fighting spellcasters.
Exactly.
You can shut them down by, in this area you can't cast your spells.
Especially as we said earlier, if it is like a restricted space,
Yeah.
you can very easily engulf the space and say...
you gotta be careful not to engulf yourself and your friends.
Exactly.
Because obviously you also won't be able to cast spells in that silence area. But for example, or if you know that you are gonna fight creatures that are like heavily based on thunder damage, the silence spell would also shut down the thunder damage.
Yes.
The thunder is based on the vibration of the sound, and silence would suppress the thunder damage as well. So it's not a bad choice. I just think is a little bit more situational.
Yeah,
and also like as a bard, we don't have a lot of options to actually deal damage. So I think having at least one damage dealing spell like Shatter is a good option.
I agree.
And as a bard, as a rocking bard like this, like as a rocker bard, you can do the Shatter just as like stringing your guitar just
Shatter like the actual loot on the floor kind of thing. Yeah,
that's a
like
pretty
at
cool.
the end of the show. That's the Shatter.
So we are up to level 3. Do you have already a little bit of an update?
I have about three paragraphs, a couple of sentences. So obviously we're leaning into the whole College of Glamour thing, and the narrative
obviously
behind
like the base of the build was like a whole thing. Now it will be more like a
more concise.
Exactly, a little bit more concise, just to see how the story of this bard has developed in the meantime.
So your travels eventually carried you to the Elven lands, where everything you knew about performance was rewritten in a single evening. Elven singers wove shrieking melodic notes through the starlit air, their garments shimmering with living moonlight, going into the whole glam rock kind of aesthetic. The music was not merely heard, it was felt, thrumming through you like a heartbeat you had forgotten you possessed. Enthralled, you bid your troop farewell and took your first steps into a world that felt impossibly vibrant. For months, you lived among the elves, learning their harmonies, their intricate dances, their strange soaring crescendos that bordered on magic. What magic? They welcomed you with kindness, and their artistry shaped you into something far richer than the performer you had once been. Yet even as you trained beside them, laughing under lantern-lit bows and singing in halls of living wood, a quiet truth lingered in your chest. This beauty was borrowed, not owned. And so, when the seasons turned once more, you packed your instruments and memories, taking with you everything the elves had taught. With gratitude in your heart and restlessness at your heels, you stepped beyond their borders and returned to the open road. Not as a child who once fled home, but as an artist forged by the world itself. And this sets us up for more levels and more adventures.
Yes. First of all, I don't know how you can write so well while we are discussing. I totally wouldn't be able to.
I have to apologize to you because like half the time I'm not paying attention. I can't do two things at once. So I'm trusting that you're saying the right stuff and I'm just typing on it. I mean, I know you're saying the right stuff, obviously.
Safe and sound. I am definitely saying all the right things.
Yes,
sure.
Definitely.
Sure.
If not, I'll be talking in the comments.
Yes, please correct me in the comments.
No, but it's true. Like I have to kind of zone some of the stuff that you say.
I don't know how you do that. I wouldn't be able to do that.
Like
honestly,
over the past few days, Jade will tell you like I've been working hard on some characters for a campaign that I'm working on, like off camera sort of thing. It has nothing to do with the Epigeeksmas, don't worry. But
I am offended because I'm not part of these things.
I'm sorry.
I am heavily offended.
We already see each other too much.
I am really upset. I am actually upset. I'm sorry. I'm gonna leave.
Okay. Come on, Jade, you take his place. You be Peppe now, be the Napolitan.
So,
no. But yes, I mean, I've been having a lot of practice lately.
A lot of practice. Yeah. Very good. Very good on you. So, we are
Let's fix it a little bit.
It's good. Good like this. Okay. Thank you,
Executive
Jade.
decision.
Executive decision from Jade saying I was too close to the microphone. So going up now to level 4, we got another very interesting choice to make, because at level 4 we get our first feat, which is technically our third feat, but the first two, they were origin feat.
Yeah.
This is our first level 4 feat. Now, level 4 is very important because this is something that I forgot to mention when we did level 1. When we chose our ability scores, I voluntarily left an odd number on charisma. So how the stats work in D&D is that on every even number of your character score, your modifier for that number increase by 1.
Exactly. So if you have a 12, it's a +1. If it's a 13, it's still a +1. But then if you go 14, it's a +2.
Exactly. So in 2014 D&D...
and I should add like that, and 10 is 0, less than 10 is with the negative.
Exactly. So in our case, we have an 8 in strength, for example, is a -1.
Yeah.
So both 8 and 9 would be a -1. Meanwhile, 10 and 11 are 0. 12 and 13 are 1.
Exactly.
14, 15, 2. 16, 17, 3. 18, 19, 4. And having a 20 means having a +5.
Yeah.
Same for 21, obviously, but you cannot always go up to 21. But this is a discussion for a different time.
Completely.
So what I wanted to specify is that I voluntarily left a 17 here, which is something that I wouldn't have done in 2014 5th edition, because in 2014 5th edition you wanted to have the number rounded up immediately, because then you were going to choose the character, the ability score increase or a feat at level 4, and either get a +2 in that ability or get a feat that grants you some other things. What has changed in 5th edition 2024 is that actually when you get a feat at level 4, you also get a +1 in an ability score. So at level 4 we can do both, round up our charisma and add an ability to our buff.
Charisma is at a
17.
17, so it will be a +4 now.
So it will be exactly, it will go up
4.
to 18 and become a +4. So
which I believe also impacts how well our spells hit. So if we had a +5, for example, the performance was +5, right?
Yes, because it was +3 from our
and the proficiency,
and +2 from the proficiency.
Yeah, so now it becomes a +6.
Well, it's already higher than that because we put an expertise there. So we would have +4. So our proficiency is 2. So with the expertise would double, so it's +4. +3 from our charisma, we already had a +7. Now that we add a +1, we're going to have a +8 to our performance.
Damn, you're performing, son.
Very good. Very. I would say not performance, persuasion.
You're persuading, son.
Very persuasion. So I would say a level 4, and I would say probably for the time that we're taking to do this, maybe we go up to level 5. And then from there onwards, you can take it wherever you want to take it. But at level 4, I have an actual very strong suggestion for this. I have a couple of very strong suggestions. One is definitely inspiring leader, because inspiring leader, it's one of those feats that gives you a bonus in charisma. And it also gives you the ability to give a little speech, like a little pep talk to your team, and grant all of them a number of hit points equal to your level plus. Sorry, I don't wanna say something incorrect. So when you finish a short or long rest, so whenever you take a rest, you can give an inspiring performance, can be speech, song, or dance. And when you do so, you choose 6 allies that are within 30 feet of you. So it's something that you do when you finish, when you wake up in the morning, or when you finish your short rest, after lunch, perhaps.
Good morning.
Exactly.
Good morning.
Literally that.
Oh God.
And the
help
chosen
us.
creature gets temporary hit points equal to your character level plus the modifier of the ability you have increased.
Yes.
So they would get, at this level 4, they will get 8 temporary hit points
That's
every
quite
time
a
you
lot.
finish a short rest.
That's quite odd, especially if you're combining them with some sort of class that really benefits from a short rest, like for example a warlock.
A fighter.
A fighter benefits from short rest as well.
Incredibly good.
Or maybe even just a
for
simple
them.
tanking character,
Yes.
who is used to taking damage, so obviously you need to take short rest instead of expending potions or healing
Or
spells.
for example, a barbarian which
Yeah,
when it
rages,
it gets
yeah.
resistance. So those hit points are basically doubled because they
Yes,
last
yes.
double the
Yes.
damage. So you are
absolutely.
giving a very good buff to your allies, and this is the buff that you give them off combat, and then in combat you have your Mantle of Inspiration that allows you to give them extra temporary hit points once these finish and allows them to have more mobility. I think it's a very good choice for a bard.
Yeah.
Surprisingly enough, they have changed the feat inspiring leader, because before it would only apply to charisma based characters, but now it also applies to wisdom based characters. So even clerics, for example, or druids, which are wisdom based, they can decide to give this encouraging and supporting speech to their allies to grant them extra hit points. In our case, we're gonna take charisma. Obviously.
Yeah. The way I see this inspiring leader working in practice, I can see it kind of like he's forming a band now,
Yes,
and he's a band leader kind of thing.
that's cool.
I think that makes sense, and it doesn't have to be like a band of bards. It can be like the different parts of the party, and in his mind, they are his actual performing band.
I mean, don't get me wrong. A band of bards.
It's a
have
new show, band of bards.
Listen, you can get a College of Glamour,
Yeah.
a College of Lore, which is the College of Glamour is the bard.
Mhm.
Then you get the College of Lore, which is the bard wizard.
Mhm.
Then you get College of Valor, which is the bard fighter. And then you can get College of Dance, which can be like the bard rogue / monk.
Yeah.
And you have a band of bards. And just with bards, or you can have I would say if you put an eloquence bard, probably is like the lead singer, and the College of Glamour is like the first guitarist.
Yeah, the lead guitarist. Yeah.
I think you can definitely go with a band of bards. That's that
I mean,
sounds.
To be fair, though, if we're going to go for a band of glam bards, they have to be like 4 or 5 glam bards, College of Glamour, and they're all doing the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously, you can do a band of just glamour bards, but then it's a bit redundant, the power is a little bit redundant. At least, if you do different, but this is the thing, bard is one of those few classes that actually on their own, they can cover so many bases.
True. They're very versatile.
They're extremely versatile. And there aren't many classes that can cover all the bases so well as the bard does.
Yeah.
Like imagine a band of fighters.
Yeah.
Like, they can cover stealth because they can be, like dexterity based, and, they can be tanking, but then magic, they're gonna be a little bit struggling.
True. No, I'm just obviously taking the piss, but like I'm trying to imagine like what the band name would be. What the band name would be.
The B.O.B.? The Band of Bards?
B.O.B.
The B.O.B.
Twisted Siblings, I'm thinking something like instead of Twisted Sisters.
Sure. The Twisted Brothers and Sisters.
White Serpent instead of White Snake kind of thing. That's not really glam, but well, kind of. Music wise. Yeah, I think Jade has a comment on this.
She's just cringing.
She's just dying. She's a red face cringing at us.
At us. Thank you, Jade. Please don't judge us.
One day we'll have a camera on her because it's honestly just amusing just to see her reaction.
Absolutely. I think... I think that would be more interesting than us talking. Just her reactions to us talking is gonna be funnier than us
the whole
talking.
Content.
So okay, at level 4 we are done with this. Should we go up to level 5?
Yeah,
and
please
get
keep going.
our third level spells?
Please keep going.
All right. So at level 5, we are gonna get, oh my god, something that I love so much, because it makes the functionality of the bard so much useful. So we all know that the bard, one of the most important bardic abilities is the bardic inspiration. It's something that you want to give to your friends as much as you can. At level 5, you get Font of Inspiration, which allows you to recharge your uses of the bardic inspiration, which at this time now it's 4. Instead of recharging it on a long rest, now you recover your bardic inspiration on a short rest.
Making it even more useful.
Oh my god. So
obviously,
now you
as we said earlier, for the inspiring leader.
Exactly. So you can use your bardic inspiration multiple times per day, and you don't have to be as careful using them as you've been so far. Exactly.
Here's a piece of advice. One of the things that I see a lot of players doing by mistake is holding on to their spells. And kind of like hoarding them for the right moment, but the right moment never comes. You end up going to a next long rest and you never actually use them. Expend your spells. Use your abilities. It's more fun that way.
referring to someone that we know.
Perhaps.
We will not say.
No,
we know who we're thinking of.
possibly.
We're both thinking of the same.
Possibly. Obviously, we've had our own experiences with a lot of different players. No, but in reality, no, that is actually like advice I would give to new players. Use your spells, use your spell slots, use your abilities. Just because you've got a finite amount of them doesn't mean that you have to hold on to them for the right moment, because that right moment till the next long rest might not come. And then if it comes, fuck it, makes for great stories anyway if you run out of spells.
Yes. I would say probably
Or keep like
try
a backup
to
kind of.
yes, try to evaluate the situation, like see how the things evolve.
Yeah, I mean, you're
in
not
the
gonna
first, second round.
Yeah.
Then if you see that by the first, second round you seem to be in control of what is happening, then you can you can keep safe. If you see that things are starting to going a little bit array, just go
I'm not-
and use your resources, because you need to be part of that party.
Yeah.
And the fighter is always going to be there in the front. The
Yes.
barbarian is always going to be there in the front.
If you
They're
have
going to
those.
take hits anyway. So you, from the back line as a bard, you got to pull your own, exactly, your own weight, and you got to help them, because they can't always
I mean, to be
protect you.
fair, if you're gonna go and do the first quest of like, killing rats in a cellar and kind of thing,
Yeah.
Against two rats, you're not gonna expend all your spells or something like that, unless the rats start to merge together and create a mega rat.
Yes, I mean, at the moment we are at
Magna
level 5, so we are already facing threats of
At this point, yes.
exactly. Like at this point, we are at CR6, CR7, maybe CR8. So we're talking about like serious threats.
Yes.
Things that in a couple of attacks can kill one character, especially like if it's a bard or a wizard, like someone a little bit more squishy
And unlucky.
Maybe they will not kill a barbarian in 2 hits, but if you don't have a barbarian in your party, so you want to use your abilities. You want to evaluate when to use your abilities and make sure you are using your resources
To be fair,
in a good way.
That comes with time and with
with a bit of
learning your
experience,
class and
of course.
experience in playing the game, and also experience playing with your DM. Because every dungeon master is different, and they will have different approaches to combat encounters and storytelling. So, it's one thing if you're doing Dungeons of the Mad Mage, where it's a dungeon crawler kind of thing,
and you have to save as much resources as you
for
can,
the final
because
boss.
you're gonna have a lot of encounters.
Yes,
Another thing, if it's a more like open world adventure, you're not. Maybe you're gonna have 1-2 encounters per day.
Yeah.
Not more than that. So you know that you can use your resources in a You don't have to be too stingy with your resources. You can use them a little bit more freely.
Absolutely,
Because
absolutely correct.
maybe the narrative is a little bit more relevant than I mean, obviously the fights are always going to be relevant if they are related to the story, but in the end you are going to be there most of the time, not in combat. Meanwhile, if it's a dungeon crawl, that combat is going to be the main dish of that campaign. At level 3 we finally unlock at level 5 we get level 3 we finally unlock level 3 spells, which are some of the best spells in the game for all the classes, and it's the first real power jump. Because level 3 start giving you the opportunity to do things that are out of the ordinary. Stuff like, okay, do you want to give an input of which flavor we are gonna continue giving this bard, or you want me just to choose spells that I think would be good for this bard?
I think at this point it's good to come to terms with the actual campaign kind of thing.
Yes,
so
definitely.
at level 5
Yes.
and onwards, you probably are playing a campaign which will last a long time. Or if you're playing a one-shot, it's going to be quite an intense one-shot.
Yes.
Because you can get a lot of hard enemies, as we said, thrown your way. So I think at this point, going for functional, mechanical over narrative choices for spells might be the wise decision for you ultimately to get to actually play and enjoy the game ultimately. Because let's face it, combat is the fun of the game. We all enjoy the role-playing and the encounters and those sort of things, myself included. But, excuse me, but the combat is obviously what we're building this for.
Yes.
And
obviously you want your character to be able to participate in all all pillars of the
all
game.
aspects of the game. Absolutely.
So
You're
from the role play perspective, we are already very strong. We have a lot of good choices. Now perhaps we want to give something that can be actually very, very game changing with the 3rd level spells. So my suggestion would be without a single doubt in my mind, Hypnotic Pattern. Hypnotic Pattern is an incredibly good spell. It has quite a large area, which is a 30 feet square. Sorry, 30 feet cube. So even if there is flying creatures, you can include them as well. And I think Hypnotic Pattern in a way is very thematic for a glamour bard.
Yes.
Because you can make it look like, a special effect.
It's a hypnotizing performance.
I mean, it could be even just a disco ball that appears there and project.
I mean, we're going for the wrong genre, but yes, I do get your point.
So basically,
like the glittering tassels and and glitter cannons, that kind of thing.
Or you can imagine
like in the middle of combat, maybe fighting back now or something, like glitter.
Yes. Oh my god, that's so good.
And you just slide into view.
The prism with all the colors,
And then you kind of slide into view, like your friends are rolling you on a cart, kind of, and you just.
So with Hypnotic Pattern is so good. Why? Each creature in the 30-foot cube that see the pattern needs to succeed on a wisdom saving throw or have the charm condition for the duration. And while they are charmed, they are incapacitated and their speed is 0. So in their turn, they can't do anything. And once they fail the first saving throw, there are no further saving throws. So for the rest of the minute of the duration of the spell, or until you keep concentration, or until someone goes there and spend their action to shake them off, that they are not gonna act. And this is a big area you can target a lot of enemies. And basically, this is a game changer, absolutely, at level 5. So I will go with Hypnotic Pattern first. We get another 2 spells that we can choose. I would say something that I also see being thematic for the glamour bard is that if we want to give a little bit of dread to these music, maybe they evolve and start playing
like the heavy riffs,
death metal,
like where you have to make the nasty face when the riff comes back.
I think
and it's lower.
Fear would be very very interesting as a spell, because you can target multiple creatures. It's a 30-foot cone, and it's a wisdom saving throw, and all the enemies get frightened. They have to take the dash action to move away from you, and they just run away in fear of the power of your music.
Yes. And at the risk of making another pun associated with the visuals of a glam band, tongues.
Oh my god, yes. I mean, you're basically a member of the Kiss.
Basically, Gene Simmons.
Yes. So tongues. It's a flavorful. It's a flavorful spell.
Yes.
And I wish in D&D, speaking languages had a mechanical, more meaningful thing. Because spells like tongues would be so much more useful and so much more interesting.
I think the only way you can viably introduce different languages in a D&D campaign is mostly in written script, where you're trying to read a book in a different language or something like that. Because in essence, to role play as a DM, to take your party in a land where they do not understand your language, it doesn't make for fun role play.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can do it for maybe like an instance or 2 where you meet someone who doesn't speak your language. You have to kind of do an encounter where you're trying to get your point across. But it's not a very nice role play when you have to spend 4 weeks in a dwarven kingdom and you can't
most
speak
people
dwarven.
Don't speak your language.
Ultimately, it is a game at the end of the day. So, you need to have fun while playing it. So, I agree. I mean, obviously, I was joking. I think fear is a good one. Maybe...
Listen.
Yeah?
I have another suggestion if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
There is a new spell from the Heroes of Faerun book, which is basically the bard version of spiritual guardians.
Okay.
Which is called Cacophonic Shield.
Could be. Yeah.
So Cacophonic Shield is a 10-foot radius, so it's 5 feet smaller than spiritual guardians. But basically, you have a thunderous reverberation, feel a 10-foot emanation originating from you. Whenever the emanation enters a creature's space, or the creature enters the space, they have to make a Constitution saving throw, and on a failed save, they take 3d6 thunder damage and have the deafen condition until the start of their next turn. on a successful save, the creature takes half damage and it's not deafened. Obviously, the creature makes only one save per round, so you can't go in and out, in and out, in and out.
Yeah, of course.
To do more damage. Because in 2014 there was cheesing of the rules. And when you cast this spell, you can, and this is a big thing, you can choose creatures that are unaffected by it. So you can choose your friends are immune to it, and you just swing your guitar and create this cacophonic shield around you.
I can see it. I can see like the sound waves emanating from you and like shattering the enemy kind of thing. Yeah, I like it. So I wrote a little bit of a paragraph over here to kind of to close off this level 5 choice. I don't think there's anything else that we need to choose, right?
No. I mean, we would have another cantrip, which we got at level 4. And we said we were going to choose
Vicious Mockery.
Yeah, so we're going to go for Vicious Mockery. It's a little bit of damage and a debuff if you want to beat one enemy.
Your journey carried you from city to wildland and back again, until at last you crossed paths with a handful of gifted souls whose talents resonated with your own. You gathered them beneath your banner, forging a troop bound by art and wanderlust. Together you traveled from portside taverns to grand festival stages, your performances growing in splendor and reputation with each passing season. Word of you spreading far beyond the places you roamed, and before long crowds flocked from distant towns and hidden vales alike, all to witness the marvel you had become. And I think, on that note, concluding level 5.
Yes, I think level 5 is a good point where to conclude this episode. So
let me just say, so
final thoughts.
We could keep going on to level 10 or level 20, but in reality, if you're playing a character at higher than level 5, first and foremost, it's unlikely that you're ever going to create a character above that if you're not an experienced D&D player.
Exactly.
And for a very specific kind of campaign, say you want to do, I don't know, a couple of sessions where you end up fighting Tarask or Vecna,
so you might
or
start,
something like that.
Level 10 or level 15,
kind of
exactly.
Yes.
But the majority of your character creation will be at lower levels.
Exactly.
So I would say between level 1 and level 5.
Yeah, level 1 and level 5. So that is one point. And second, obviously, as your character grows in power, you want to make your own personal choices and kind of start, because by then you start getting the feel of your character, how it plays and how it should work together with your other campaign members, because at that point we are here creating a solo character.
Yes, which is in a vacuum.
Exactly, basically. It's in a vacuum. Yes. And you always have to take your character in consideration of the rest of the party, which is why we encourage session 0 and session 1, both the podcast and the game. Yeah, for you guys. No, I have to be punny about it.
She's cringing again.
She is always cringing. But it's okay. Again. It's okay. She doesn't cringe as much because she remembers you are a Robbie Damon lookalike. And it's back in 2016, baby.
2026.
10 years later. Sorry, 2026.
2016. Sure.
Sorry, I was fascinated by Robbie Damon.
He's getting old.
I was fascinated by Robbie Damon.
Listen. I was hoping we had left these in 2025.
I gave you a holiday break. I didn't
to come back to it.
Of course. Okay. I gave you a break for December. I didn't mention it for the LARP.
Yes, I was hoping you had forgotten about it.
It was on the tip of my tongue, but I was like, you know what, let's give him a Christmas holiday present, because for the LARP episode, you were really excited about it. For the Christmas, I was like, let this be my holiday gift for Peppe.
Goodness.
Welcome back, Rob. So obviously you need to take it
to Robbie Damon.
You have to take it into context of your whole party as well.
Yes,
obviously,
absolutely. So it's very important to evaluate what's the power of the rest of your party. Perhaps your party doesn't have anyone who is a damage dealer and you want to go all spells that deal damage. Perhaps you don't have a controller, so instead of fear, you want to go with slow.
Yes.
And you can, debuff your enemies. So obviously, this is a character that I think is a very solid start from level 1 to 5, which can be used in multiple situations. Mm-hmm. But obviously, you can go on and personalize it, use this as a base perhaps, or just use the advices we gave you about, how to build the character from level 1 to level 5, and then go on and have fun with whatever
Absolutely,
you
and
would
let
like
us
to.
know how it plays. Let us know whether you like it, whether what you would change. Please please let us know in the comments below.
Also, let us know which class would you like us to tackle next, because we have our own ideas, but we want to hear what you would like to see us build.
I think we could put a poll on Patreon as well.
Sure.
Like, it's going to be free for everyone to join. Like, you just need to join for free, and
join for free our Patreon. And also, if you join for free our Patreon, you will have the actual character sheet for this character that we have created. So join our Patreon for free. Link in the description.
We may or may not have some sort of graphic for it as well.
Well,
we may or may not.
We'll see. Let's not.
On that note, however, I want to take a minute to just say first and foremost, okay, we concluded this. This is basically the essence of like the topic of the podcast for today. But first and foremost, I wanted to thank everyone again. This is a new year for us, 2026. We've been doing this podcast since September, but it's been a dream of ours to do it for years now.
Long time.
A very long time for Peppe and myself, and we couldn't do this without obviously your participation as viewers. We couldn't do it without Jade behind the camera over there helping us. We couldn't do it without Pepe's contribution, mostly taking care of the podcast itself. I have other projects which I promise you they will be coming later on.
They will come into fruition soon,
and that is what I want to say as well. Like I'm not going to reveal what the projects are, but trust me, they're going to be very good. Started working on them last year, and honestly,
a few months into last year.
Last year, and it's shaping up to be a very, very good project, and we'll probably let you know towards February or March.
Yes,
maybe. Yeah, depending on how panicked I am in completing the projects. But yeah, and also I would like to thank all our friends and all our collaborators and contributors and crew members of the Epigeeks.
Yes.
I am flabbergasted to say that as of now, as of January 2026, we are technically 9 crew members in the Epigeeks, many of which you have never met. So from here, I would like to thank you guys. I would like to thank
all the people that is behind us, helping us, making this happen.
There's Federico as a photographer. There's Mikael as an artist as well. We've got Rachel as a social media manager and taking care of our image, making sure that we do the right things, because we don't know what to do with social media.
We don't know what we are doing.
Yeah, we don't know what we're doing. There's also, we're millennials. Thank you, Jade.
Yes.
We've got other friends
which are gonna join
later
on in other projects that we are gonna
I can't reveal them just yet, obviously, but you know who you are. You know who you are.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much to the people who actually obviously this is the people that support us making these, but we want to support our patron as well, that help us and support us and motivate us to do more and to do better and to create more things. Again, we have done the Epigeeksmas just for them, just to promote the people that give back to the people that is supporting us. And give them quality work, stuff that we have worked on, stuff that we have play tested, stuff that we know it's meaningful for you, because you make this meaningful for us.
Exactly. So, and I think it's worth saying as well, like the more people we have working with us as we do now, it gives us a little bit more freedom to work on the actual stuff of giving back.
Yes.
For example, the Patreon content creation, that sort of thing. You can expect that to start ramping up now in 2026, especially as Peppe will obviously, continue working on it, as I will be working on the other projects. But thank you so much to you.
Thank
Peppe.
you for and let's look forward to a year full of stories and full of podcasts and full of friends
and puns,
maybe less puns,
cringe,
maybe a little bit less
maybe
puns.
We can get you one of those Robbie Damon hats, the ones he used to wear for the campaign 3.
Good. So thank you so much to everyone. Thank you for
watching.
following for this long. We are, I think, at the 2 hours mark, close to 2 more minutes.
Shall we vamp for 2 minutes just
No, I think that's enough. I think that's enough. Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. Let us know, what do you want to see from the Epigeeks this year, so we can give you more of what you love and what you like. And thank you as always.
As always, until next time, keep being geeks.
Maybe be an Epigeeksmas. Ciao, ciao.